All right, welcome to day 3 of my Scooter Cannonball. After yesterday's 13-hour day, all ready to go. Supposed to be the shortest distance and second shortest time, but we know how that's panned out. A lot of gray on the map. Glad I didn't look earlier. That's a lot of flat till the end, 9,300 feet, which was great. Didn't read yet, but we were fine. New clutch cable, new spark plug. Eager to start the day. I didn't reset the GPS until the first checkpoint, so getting going. Oh, and this is us after we had left the hotel, realizing we hadn't started the taking the picture. So off and running. Never really got the music figured out for the most part all week, because it would turn off when Lou and I would speak to each other, and it was like an 8-step process, turn it back on. So this was actually the song that ran through my head most of day 2, 3, and 4. Really good ride to begin. It was nice. It was cool temperatures, but not cold. Felt great, actually, this stretch. We both had, make sure we were taking it easy on the scooter again, try not to get over 50. So good scenery, some turns, which is fun, not a crowded road. And it was definitely before it got too hot for the day. So the first checkpoint was only 35 miles, and I remember getting to it feeling great, and then looking back on it, probably felt great because it was so close to the beginning. So we're mixing in both of our cameras. I tried to straighten out mine, so it looks okay. I think mine's the one that's more yellow in tint, and Lou's is a little bit clearer. So you can guess Lou's got a real GoPro. I have a knockoff. Go figure. So coming up on the first checkpoint here, and it's fine. But this is where it kind of started to go downhill a little bit. We got onto the Navajo Nation reservation, and there's a this next checkpoint was only like 30 some miles away, but you could see it just starts to become very desolate. Very little bit of elevation up and down. There's the second checkpoint, and then from here on out, it was a couple 90-mile plus stretches. I guess 86 and 96 miles. So very little to look at. Super cognizant of how the engines were running. At one point, Lou felt like his was hiccuping a little bit. We stopped, used the opportunity to put some gas in the scooters. And pro tip: when you open up a can of gas that's been shaking around and gotten hot, it tends to spray everywhere. So smelled of gasoline most of the rest of the day. So again, I tried to take some video of when we came upon mountains, but don't confuse that with it being a lot of things to look at. Coyote Cafe. I'm not sure what they were serving. We did not go in. So then you start to move, after like 100 plus miles from Navajo Nation to Pueblo Nation. I think that's what we're coming up on here, which was actually a little bit better scenery. It was kind of shallow canyons that you rode through. Which was, again, after like 3 hours of not much to look at, it became a little bit better as far as the scenery. So around these hills is when we kind of got to the end of the Pueblo Nation. And then nice Native American gas station. Super nice people. I can't remember what I ate there, but I do know I chugged a Gatorade. And then that last stretch, you could see the green on the map. We start to go into Sante Fe National Park, which was unbelievable. Really, really beautiful. A lot of fun turns. We'll get to that in a second. So this is still outside the park, heading to it, as you notice, frequently getting passed by other vehicles. So now we're in the park. I mean, it was really amazing scenery. A lot of, you kind of go up 1,000 feet and then you'd come upon almost like a meadow. It was really, really cool. This was probably one of my favorite, couple hour blocks of riding. So, checkpoint in the park. This is our U2 album cover shot. And that's a picture for Jenny because she hates it when I take selfies. Then we get on a dirt road. I can't remember. This is probably like 10 or 12 miles. Was okay. Again, beautiful scenery as you wound around, so it was cool. It was kind of a little bit off the beaten path. You'll see I'll get a little squirrely here. And then I got to go past the BMW 1200 adventure bike that had tipped over, so I felt pretty good about that. Most of this part of the ride, I was just focused on not wiping out. Then you'll see I'll come upon a Jeep coming the other way, so thankfully I wasn't too far over and was paying enough attention not to get run over. So this was the last bonus point. Lou's front end wasn't riding right, so ended up putting the bike on the support vehicle. This was amazing. This was like the last stretch of about an hour. And again, it was just up in the mountains, 9,300 feet, looking down into a valley, wildlife. At 9,100. I pulled off a couple times just to take some pictures and video with how cool it was. So back at the hotel, ended up just being over 11 hours, which was good. We actually felt great at the end of this day. Until we swapped out his front end. There's Micah, both the together picture and then walking around in the parking lot. Took the front end off of my scooter. That's Brooks navigation GPS. He wrote everything on his front handlebars. So like I said, a little over an hour, didn't set the GPS to begin with. So swapped out the bearings. So by the time we got everything done, it was about 11 o'clock. So made what was a short day, kind of a little bit of a bummer to get to bed that late. But this little walk around the parking lot before we really started wrenching on Lou's bike. Everybody's super nice. We didn't have all the tools we needed, obviously, because we were not the most prepared people. But we borrowed a breaker bar to get the front end off. Somebody had bought grease, so we gave us that to use. Didn't have the right socket. We got to borrow that. So all in all, people were phenomenal. Just give it back when you can. That's DJ Tiny had his bike rebuilt what felt like 3 times. During the 8 days, and then you're coming up back upon Lou in the back. So good day, morning stretch, tough Navajo Nation, but it got quickly replaced by the fun of driving through Santa Fe. All right, on to day 4.